And we are live, and welcome to a Miles Better Conversation. Today's episode is with the famous Steve Dale. We did have this scheduled for a few weeks ago, but due to Steve obviously running his business like we all do as entrepreneurs, had to change out. But he's back, and we're pleased to have him. So welcome. So welcome, everybody, all the viewers who are tuning in around the world, we hope. And if you're not, and you're watching the replay, thanks for joining us. So this is the Miles Better Conversation, the entrepreneurial series. If you don't know who I am by now, my name is Colin Miles, aka the Numbers Guy. Each interview will last around 30 minutes and will allow us to get some insights and tips from our guests, which, as I say, today is Steve Dale. In this series, I'm generally looking to interview a variety of business owners from around the world. We've had from Canada and the UK and now the West Coast. So time difference is fun for all of us. And we hope that they will reveal what drives them and their individual approaches. Because as I'm making it my mission for 2021 and beyond to help as many small business owners grow, scale, and profit faster, to use my tagline, I thought it would be great to have some outside influences of how they've been successful or not. And there's no goods or bads, because it's all about being an entrepreneur. And so, as I said, I'm really excited to welcome Steve Dale, who I met through a mutual mentor called Greg Roulette from ambitious.com. And we both went through and are still involved in his world in the Velocity program. And then subsequently, I found out he's also a Groovester and loves groove.cm. And I've helped him a little bit there. And I'm sure we're going to see over the coming months more projects from Steve, as I know he's keen to launch landing pages, etc. So really excited to have him on the show, mainly because he's become a bit of a friend over the last year as well. So welcome, Steve.
Hey, thank you, Colin. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me on.
No, that's cool. That's cool. In fact, I think your headphones, I'm quite funked about your headphones. They're different colors, aren't they? Are they red?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. It's,
cool. That's a bit of fun. Why don't let's have some fun. Whoever designed those thought, hey, headphones can be boring. Let's have some fun.
My brother-in-law sent them to me. So.
Oh, cool. That's even better when somebody gives you as a gift. So that's cool. So before we start what I have referred to as the Miles Better Conversation 10, I'd love to stop talking for a few minutes and hand it over to Steve to all things about Steve and what you're about.
What am I about? What am I about? I live in Idaho, married just about 20 years this September, 3 kids, ages just about 14, 10, and 6.5.
Oh, wow.
Keeps busy. I've been in the remodel contracting field for over the past, probably the past 13 years, a little over. And, as an entrepreneur, we experience good times, we experience difficult times. And so throughout my career, I had experienced enough difficult times to where I was basically thinking there has to be a better way. I feel like I'm fairly intelligent, business, had a business degree, and I feel like I can figure certain things out. Well, this struggle I was going through, I was just like, okay, I need a little bit of push in another direction, because what I was doing was not working. And I like to kind of call it I was taking too much contractor buddy advice. And you don't know what you don't know. But I hired a business coach, did some very, very uncomfortable things. Like at a certain point, you're just like, I'll try anything different. And I was skeptical, but I kept the process. I trusted the process, and the process was working. And so then I ended up getting into I read the book, The Pumpkin Plan, by Mike Michalowicz.
Yep.
And I got drawn to that. And the things that I was doing in my business seemed to be a little bit more of the organic approach. And I was drawn to these methodologies and strategies. And then I became certified as a pumpkin plan strategist. And I was running my contracting business, and I realized that I was having more fun working on the business
than doing it.
And I felt that I could have more value by helping other contractors. So, and then I ended up writing my own book,
Right. Yes, I know. We talked about it last year.
Called The Profitable Contractor.
Cool. Cool.
Which is now available on Amazon. So that was a grueling process. It's I think everyone has a book inside of them. So I would encourage people, if you're curious or interested in writing a book, I would definitely go down that path and figure out how you can get that done. So anyways, I'm now here. I am now coaching contractors, become more profitable, attract better clients. Cause that was the one thing for me, is I was attracting all of the wrong crappy clients. And of course I thought that it's like, there was something wrong with them. Like, it's like, but it was actually the thing that the problem was like, it was more work on myself.
Right.
There was a reason why I was being attracted to these type of clients. So
do you still contract, or have you now migrated 100% to coaching and stuff?
I still have my contracting business, but I was trying to do contracting and coaching and get into the coaching space, and I was doing neither one well. You're doing this over here, then going back over that thing. And so I had to I haven't cut ties with it, but it's definitely, I'm not taking on jobs right now, and I'm getting my coaching practice up. And so,
cool.
Yes. So
exciting.
It's been
exciting. And it probably means you want to get up in the morning. I mean, I think, was certainly through some of the other guests, and one of the things I talk with my clients is that life's not a rehearsal. You've got to enjoy what you do. We spend, 10, 12 as entrepreneurs, 10, 12, 14 hours a day doing something. And if we don't enjoy it, do something else, because that's the joy of being an entrepreneur. Or go get a job that you hate and don't be an entrepreneur because you hate your job anyway.
Yeah. The challenge, and if you have that that passion and that drive, you're right. It's exciting to get up. And I used to have the excitement for contracting, and I started off, and for the most part I was a solopreneur. I hired out for certain parts of jobs, of course, and I wasn't just doing everything myself, but I was doing a lot of certain parts of the project, the physical work. And I used to have a real passion for that. Mm-hmm. And then after I started doing things, understanding the proper way to run a business, I didn't get that. I didn't get that passion doing that work. I got the passion, what I'm doing now. So
yeah, cool, good, exactly. So totally agree with that philosophy. I've pivoted myself several times throughout my career. Ran a turned my hobby into my business as a scuba diving instructor, and then it lost the shine. Didn't want to go diving anymore. So you have to do what's passionate, because, as I say, you need to have something that gets you out of bed and feels good. So great. I'm sure we'll explore some of the other concepts as we come through the questions, and feel free to plug the book again. We'll put up the banner. It's all about sharing our fun as well. So it's my podcast, and I can tell people what I want to promote is the view. So we'll leap into the Miles Better Conversation 10. And number one is, obviously last year has been a pretty trying time for everybody. And so what is the biggest challenge you have right now, and how in your world are you going to overcome this?
The number one challenge I have right now, I would say the number one challenge I have right now is being consistent. Right. I think you're getting into, as I understood the process in the contracting side of it, and now I'm getting into the coaching side, and so it is new territory for me. And so, but it's being consistent, and it's also myself understanding the process. So I would say that's probably the number one challenge that I'm facing right now, is just sometimes it's difficult to trust the process. Mm-hmm. But you have to work on your mindset, and you have to be able to understand, like, there's better things to come.
Yeah, no, cool. Exactly. I mean, I think it's becoming laser focused. And I think as entrepreneurs, we often struggle. I'm exactly the same. New shiny toy, let's go after that.
Yeah.
Let's try this. And sometimes, we almost are too quick to go down an area.
Yeah. And Colin, I think to kind of elaborate on that is like, I started off in 2020, starting to write my book. Well, what happened in March of in the early 2020?
Yeah,
we had the pandemic, and so I had I was writing the book, and I was I was getting into the coaching side of it, and there was a lot of struggles that came with that, a lot of unknowns, and it was hard to trust. It was hard to trust the process because you just didn't know exactly what was going to go on. So I would say that, now it's a lot better. I mean, I think we're all a lot more at ease. So
cool. Yeah, no, indeed. Which leads nicely onto the sort of the second question which is how do you continue to learn in order to stay on the top of your game? Well, your game is changing. I mean, obviously, when perhaps you were a contractor, to stay on top of the game, it was perhaps the latest technique or to try something different if something new came out. But of course, you're pivoting. So you've actually had to go through that huge learning curve. And how have you approached that in
gosh, that's super easy. I'm my new path is coaching contractors, but I also have a coach.
Cool.
I have many people that I'm learning from because I want to be on top of my game and I want to be learning. I want to keep my mind sharp, and I want to, and so, all coaches, or, you learn that most coaches have coaches.
No, definitely.
And so that's
how we met, wasn't it?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, and it's just about continual personal growth as well.
Mm-hmm. Cool. No, good. Exactly. And I was to say, we've had several coaches on the calls before, and it's right. It's all about, we're both coaches ourselves. I'm a business coach. You're to numbers. You're a business coach to obviously contractors. And we both felt we needed some signature message. So I went off and found a signature message coach, and we both felt we needed that sort of boost really to get us into putting ourselves out there, marketing and stuff. Hence Greg and Velocity. So cool, exciting. So glad we met anyway. So it's been a year. Where has that year gone? I mean, COVID was supposed to slow the world down. I think it's just made it worse. I don't know why it's made it worse, but it just has. I mean, it's a year later. I mean, and I know that just because I'm coming up on a year since I had my back operation, over a year now. And where does that go? Where has time gone? Your kids are growing up. You probably see that, having been more at home. They're like, gee, what they were this big. Now they're this,
Yeah. How is your back doing?
Yes, good. That's good now. Yeah. I'm up for 362 days since I was released for to do exercise constantly and stuff. So my watch is telling me I'm on my longest streak, which is really exciting. So I've become a bit obsessed with it. So when I get to 365, which is Sunday, and Sundays are always the hardest day because I don't tend to do, it's a bit more of a down day. So I'm going to go out with a bang, and then hopefully I can be perhaps not quite so, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. But I think it becomes ingrained really, as my wife said, you'll know what you need to do just to to get the tick without actually having to wear the watch. Because I've got all these other lovely watches that I'd like to wear, but of course it can't. The moment I take this off, it stops tracking me.
Does it give you? And if you take it off, it gives you a little shock, right?
Yes, indeed. Where's it go? What are you doing? Mr. Apple doesn't know what I'm doing. Come back. So that's cool. So in your, as the numbers guys to entrepreneurs, I'm all about the numbers, as we've said. So what's your biggest fear in your own world when it comes to your business numbers? Just interested to see how you approach your own numbers, really.
What's my biggest fear is, I think the biggest fear is not putting enough value on your own time. Like, as so often I think we look at pricing things as, it's like time for money. You're doing putting a value on your time per hour, and then we're trading time for money. And when we stop looking past that time for money and what the results somebody is getting out of it, then we stop looking at we stop looking at our day and as ourself as we stop looking at it as scarcity and more of as an abundance mindset. Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's the hard thing, and it can be an easy trap to fall back into, because you might be desperate to get your next client, or you might think, oh, it'll be okay just this one time, it'll be okay to just make an exception, and it really is. It's not. We have to be consistent. We may have to make sure what we actually need to be profitable in our job, and make sure and be consistent with it. And I've in the past, I've thought like, oh, well, I'll just do it this one time.
And that's probably, I mean, that's the whole crux of what you're teaching, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
That value your time and your skill base, and it's okay to say no. And we've all done it. I've done it myself. When I first started our business, you took on clients that you offered the lowest possible price to you could hear them going, so you're like, oh, well, I'll discount. Whereas now you have to go, and it's a hard mindset, but it's the same when you set your price to go, well, no, I'm not taking that job on, because I take that job on, I could actually have a job that's going to value my experience and value my worth, and people, as you said, the people you want to work with will pay the right price. Particularly at the moment in the contracting world, there's so scarce that it's just, you want a contractor to do something, it's like months. So don't give yourself away. I think
and I think that you have to make sure and set yourself apart and be not if you're just competing with the next guy, you're becoming a commodity, and then you're in price wars, and that's when you get that scarcity mindset. 'Cause you're like, I got to get this next job, and okay, he's X amount of dollars, and so, I mean, you kind of know what the pricing model might be for that specific service, because you're just competing with everybody else, and so you're lowering your prices to get the job, but you're doing the same amount of work.
Yes.
You're not altering on your service, that what you're providing. You're still providing great value on the work side of it, but now you're having to fill your schedule fuller because you're trying to still bring in that revenue. And then I think the one thing we have to understand is like making sure we're still being profitable on those jobs. Revenue does not result in a profitable business.
Oh no. Well, you've led me right to my favorite saying: sales are vanity, but profit is sanity.
Yes.
Covered by, and cash is king. So many entrepreneurs think, I've done this great amount of sales, but as you said, if you're selling, I use the adage, if I'm selling $10 bills for $5, I'm going to have a huge sales revenue, but I am losing money hand over fist. And, it's something that I teach as well. So very cool. So question number 4, what's the best compliment you've ever received, and how did you get it?
The best compliment? Talking like about my wife, or
wife, business, feedback, review, whatever. What resonates in your mind as to, perhaps it reveals your personality, or it reveals a skill set?
I think I'll go back from, I've had it was during a call within a group, and we actually were set back into some different rooms to listen to each other on what we were experiencing in life, just kind of a story, what you were struggling, or what they were struggling with. And the compliment I received was like how well I listened to them, and how well they felt that I heard what they were going through. That sticks out in my mind just from this last year. So
cool. Well, and I'm sure that's also, and the reason I try and tease out that compliment is I'm sure that gets factored in, even subliminally, into what you teach, because, there is, and listening and complimenting and listening is, again, I'm classically bad at this, because the old adage, you should listen twice as much as you speak. Well, in the last 21 minutes, I've spoken for about 19 and a half. So,
yeah. And the one thing, if I could make a quick little, not a plug for myself, but just a plug from what I learned, is like trying to repeat back when somebody's talking to you. It's like you're repeating back what they just said. So, and that helps make them feel heard, but it helps you as a person who's listening to them understand what they're going through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's good. You did that actually with my opening question. And I noticed that as a technique. I was aware of it. And I'm like, yeah, it's buying him some time. It's also just confirming that he's understood. It's establishing empathy, which is all great coaching techniques and tips. Yeah, so great. No. So if that's been a transition to get there, it's working. So
it's a work in progress, and it ends up being more subconscious now. Because I've just been practicing it over and over and over again. And I feel like it's part of my personality too. So part of me. So I'm not trying to take advantage of. It's not like I'm trying to take an advantage of people by, trying to get in their head. But it's just a really good technique. So
yeah, cool, good. So you are now a sort of a double entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur when you went into your contracting business. So we might be interested in that. And obviously you've touched a little bit now. You're an entrepreneur on your coaching. So my question really is, what was the driver to take the leap and become an entrepreneur? I mean, were you in corporate world, as I call it?
Oh,
were you in yeah?
I was. So I went and I went to college, got my business degree, got out. I actually got an accounting. I went into the workforce and got an accounting job. I found out that was not my cup. That did not work out for me. That was being in a cubicle and doing some of the things I was doing. It just didn't work out. So I ended up getting a job in the electrical space, in the electrical wholesaler, and then I ended up getting laid off during the crash 07, 08.
Yep.
And then I was looking for employment. And my wife and I had just bought a house, and I just started doing home remodeling projects. And before you knew it, I had a friend who was selling his tiling business. And I was like, that sounds like fun, because I was enjoying what I was doing. So that's how I kind of got my step in there. I never worked for a contractor before. I loved still working with my hands and doing projects, physical, the physical labor side of it.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's a machinist by trade. My brother's an electrician by trade. And so I feel like it kind of I kind of was able to fit into that mold just from what our family background.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually got into being an entrepreneur more out of need for work, and to find work. And then I guess say enjoy it. I mean, the struggles that I had, early on, I can't say they were enjoyable, but they definitely molded me to who I am today and growth.
Right. Cool. Good. Excellent. All right. So what have we got next? So we've talked a little bit about coaches, and that we both believe strongly that we should have one. And really just interested to know what your, how I can phrase this. Well, I believe life's a journey. So who's perhaps been your best mentor? Maybe not name them, because that's sometimes a little awkward, but just what did they bring to, because I've got several and they all bring different things. But is there anything particularly that you'd like to share with the audience about what you felt was a good mentoring point that we could perhaps understand?
I would say the biggest, most impactful point that I can make on that is that everyone wants to make more revenue in their business and make more profits, and they want better clients, and they want all the things that we want in a business to become successful. But the most impactful thing for me was working on and it might sound superficial, but like working on your mindset. But it's so important, like your vision, like where where do you actually want to head? Like, what does that look like in the future?
Mm-hmm.
What's your purpose in life? Because if you don't understand what your purpose in life is, you might be doing something that is not being meaningful or very impactful to, to the world, or even to yourself, to your family. I would say by really understanding, being clear on who I am and what I want to do, and the path that I want to take, the journey that I want to go in life and with my family.
Okay. So it's about a message, really, having a message that
it's a clear message. Yeah.
A clear message in a direction.
And
exactly.
And it takes work. It's not something you just, if somebody asks you to work on your vision, you might think it's like a lot of woo woo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it might be woo, I don't know, but once you get clear on that, you actually understand the next steps you need to take.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't work on that, you might do very, very well, but you may not be satisfied or happy inside, because there's more to life than just running it as a successful business. If you're unhappy during the process, then why are we doing it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, exactly. So good. Yeah. I mean, once you've got that, it becomes a roadmap, doesn't it? The book that if you start going, you can come back. Where am I supposed to be? Because we get distracted, as we talked about earlier, very easily. So great. Thank you. So what's new in your world? What are you researching at the moment? Anything that I know you've written a book, which is up on the screen. 1 Year Rescue Plan, can go grab that.com, and sort of available on Amazon, I believe. But what else are you doing? What anything else? Did I hear you say another book is in the book?
Another book will be in the near future. Has not been started on yet, but I'm, as much as I got drug through the process, I mean, writing a book is definitely, it takes work. You get through the process and you're just like, you're just trying to get through, and then you receive the physical copy from your publisher, and you're going, I think I want to write another one.
It's a drug, isn't it? I think, as to use one of Greg's famous thing, ego ambition, isn't it? I mean, to have that book in your hand is both ego, I've written a book, but then also ambition says, I want to do more. How do I get this out there more, type situation?
Yeah. And I'm also, I'm working on getting my podcast released, the 24 on Center podcast.
Cool.
That should be releasing, the soft launch of it should be the end of this month. And I'm really just focused on the coaching and the podcast and getting the book out there.
Cool.
And the book really helped me get more clarity on where I'm going as well.
Right.
And that was
cool. Good. So this is a bit of a time warp one. If you were to go back to when you were 21, which I know in your case is probably only last week, because you're younger than I am. But anyway, having said they got 3 children, so maybe you're not quite as young as I think you are. You look young, so it's the hat, the fun thing.
It's my banana hat, huh?
Sorry, your banana hat. Yes, I was going to ask you. It's Banana Man, isn't it? I think we talked about it once on a call before.
Yeah, it's a minor league team out of Georgia, the Savannah Bananas.
Right. Yeah. So cool. So my part of the world a little bit. So if you go back when you're 21, what might you say to yourself?
I don't think it's appropriate for this show.
Okay. Sanitize to an appropriate in an appropriate manner.
Oh my goodness, what would I say to myself? I might say, I'm just trying to think what the exact words would be, because I know, I mean,
well, just the gist. Would you be bolder? I would just say less, something more of something.
I would say really focus on and if I look back to 21, that I got married when I was 22. I would say really understand the people, the loved ones in your life,
right.
And making sure that you're making the best decisions possible.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just about think about other people.
Think about other people, making sure that the actions you're taking are actually the right things. Really thinking of back on that clarity, like really taking, that'd been 20 years ago. I may have taken some different steps along the way.
Yeah. Cool. And I think we'd all, everybody has something different. It's just really the point of the question is to whether there's a dramatic change. Some of the guests have said, they would just tell themselves to be more this or more that. So it's always interesting, and everybody's slightly different. So, and I'd say with your family, a young family, then,
well, yeah, I see the
decisions you make impacts them, not just.
I'm saying I just look at the years that the lost years of my oldest, or my 13-year-old, or almost 14 and 10-year-old. It's like I did some stupid things, and I wish I could have those
back again,
those years back again. Yeah. But I'm not dwelling on those now.
I'm
moving forward. So
exactly, you have to learn from those. But it's just it's what you've learned now. And even if you could go back, you wouldn't listen, because 21-year-olds don't listen to older people because we think we know everything. So that was really the fun point of the question, is that whatever we went back,
I would listen now. If I,
you'd listen now.
I would listen now. Yeah. So,
yes, indeed. I don't think you would. And stuff. So because we didn't listen then, and I'm sure people were telling us things. So that's all good fun.
It's fun.
Go on.
Oh, it was funny. We went on a boat with our friends last night on the river, and my son. Our son is he's almost 14, and then they had their son, and they're bantering back and forth like they know everything. We're just like saying, no, take it from us, trust us. We actually we might be able to help you understand this a little bit better. And some of the things that they were arguing about were just like, why are you arguing with us?
That's part of growing up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is,
and stuff like that. So hence, it's really fun. So cool. So if you had to reveal what you think is your top business tip, so that some other entrepreneurs can steal it, so that they can prosper, what might be your top business tip? I think I know what the answer is going to be based on the conversation we've just had through your message, but let's see if you change it. What's your top business tip?
Top business tip, I would just say, is like understanding the value. I know it becomes about value, but it's about not even understanding your value, but what value, like what are you doing to attract the right clients, the right customers in your business. And you can't do that just by raising your prices. If everyone talks about raising your prices, well, that's fine and dandy. But if you're not doing anything extra to earn that, why are they going to flock to you? Mm-hmm. So I would say really understanding that customer journey. How do you take care of your customers, and then you can be able to justify or be able to add, be able to increase your value and increase your pricing.
Cool. Good. And the last and final question in the Miles Better 10 conversation is a fun one. Hopefully reveals a little of your personality. What's your favorite movie and why?
My favorite movie. We don't watch. I mean, I've watched some movies in the past, but we're not like a huge movie family. But I like slapstick comedy.
Okay.
I mean,
so things like Dumber and Dumber.
Like that,
The Mask, with they're both got Jim Carrey in them. But
I'm trying to think. I even like movies just like what is it called?
Gilmore. Any of the things with
Gilmore. There was a football movie on. Like I said, we don't watch a lot of movies, but I like the.
So you like slapstick as the genre?
Yeah, it's because it's light. It's not so serious. It's you can relax. So yeah, and like I said, one movie in particular like doesn't, we watched Happy Gilmore again a few weeks ago. That's always fun because I also like to golf.
So that's a great film, isn't it? Really, if you're into golf and how just ridicule it's a lot of fun. And Adam Sandler very good anyway, generally, just as that sort of comedian slapstick fun, isn't it? So
there's a really great football movie, and I can't think of what it was, but I watched it when my buddy and I were out hunting a few years back, and it's super, super good, and I can't think of the name.
So cool. Good. All right. Well, fantastic. Thank you. That's the Miles Better 10. Been very insightful, Steve. So thank you. So I really want to thank Steve for taking the time today to share his thoughts, ideas, tips, his mindset, his vision, his book, and we'll put that back up again as we come through. We've realized we forgot the .com, so we've added that now since we've been chatting. Your journey of obviously how you've transitioned, and I think that's really quite exciting that an entrepreneur can transition, that you went from corporate to your first entrepreneurial, and now you're into second entrepreneurial, which is actually layering onto the first, means that there is you don't have to do the same thing all the time, but you can just take it and layer it on, which is fantastic. And obviously some of the things that drive you, your book, your ego to get the book, and how that leads to the ambition. So thank you for that and for sharing that. And I'm sure that's going to allow our viewers and listeners to sort of just take a little nugget that it's okay to try something different and to pivot through your life. So that's great. So we've mentioned, if the listeners and viewers are interested to find out a bit more, I've popped up that you've got the onerescueplan.com. It's also your book's available, I think, on Amazon. Is that right?
It's available on Amazon. Yes.
Okay. Show us the book again. Let's get a plug for the book. What is it called? It's called The Profitable Contractor.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The Profitable Contractor.
Okay.
And then the podcast will be.
There it is. Yeah. No worries.
24 on Center podcast with Steve Dale.
Cool.
And
cool. So I'm sure Steve will send me the links again to I'll put the onerescueplan.com in, but also the podcast. We can put those in the comment boxes, both on Facebook and YouTube, to allow people to come.
And the One Year Rescue Plan is the resource page where they can get extra resources from the book.
Cool.
But the best way to get the book right now is on Amazon, and then go and if you want extra stuff, put your information in there, and I can email some stuff to you. So
cool, good. Well, I'll put those in the links. So and I know Steve's kindly sent me the Amazon link as well. I'll put that in the comments and description boxes so people can find that. So once again, Steve, we thank you for your time. And so to close out, guys, I wanted to thank all of you for listeners and viewers for this episode of A Miles Better Conversation. We'd love to hear your thoughts and comments, as well as sharing the Miles Better Conversation on your social media. Do check back soon for the next episode. Hoping to have another one next week with Doug from, where's he from? He's from Family Business Mastermind program, which is looking forward to that. But of course, if you'd like to be in the hot seat for the next interview, then please, again, comment below, direct message me, whatever. I'm on all the social medias, as you can imagine. As I mentioned right back some 39 minutes ago, I'm making it my mission in 2021 to help as many entrepreneurs grow, scale, and profit faster. And so I've also got a book. Mine's not a full book. Mine's an ebook. There we go. Accounting is the Language of Business. It's a 42-page guide to all terms that us accountants love to band about, but it's in plain speech so that you as an entrepreneur can understand. And I'd love you to grab a free copy, and that's available at on the website, which you can see up in the right-hand corner, called lethenumbersdecide.com. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. And as I said, my name is Colin Miles, aka The Numbers Guy, and this has been a Miles Better Conversation. And we're clear.